Okay, what is my point? What'd you learn doing this for yourself?
I learned that I either have crap days or really good days.
Okay, what else?
A lot of mediocre days.
Okay.
Mine's kind of steady, 1 through 4. They're kind of about the same.
Okay, average sales per day. Did you people do that too? Right? That would be in this scenario 88 divided by 70. Right?
0.18.
1 1/4 here. Okay, next questions. How many days do you have left?
Including today?
Yep, sales days. Even if your number of days left is 10, you should do this. If your days left is 100, you should do this. Jordan, what's you guys?
I have 72 days left.
72 days left.
Is that 12 6? Is that what you have left? Yeah.
Okay. Some of you, days left.
35.
35. Days left.
48.
48. I guess, or 47. Maybe I counted wrong.
It probably is
Jared?
47. Yeah,
16?
Because I can't.
16.
Yeah.
Oh.
Time is of the essence.
47.
Okay? You ready for the shock and awe line? I look at these numbers and I'm going to call bullshit. Right? So we need to have something that keeps us. I'm going to use a lot of other words, not the most powerful word that is unique that I want you to remember because it's not a word that you regularly use. There's this concept, this idea that people are drawn to and believe in and trust the character of someone who, and there's lots of different words that people use to fill in this. If you're talking to like your grandpa, he'd say something like, that's a man of his word, right? Cowboy says if he says it, he's gonna do it, right? Alignment is maybe more like a new age word. I think that there is internal struggle in any part of life if what your actions are in one area and your actions in another area are not the same. They're not aligned. Or what you say about what you're going to do and what you actually do, the longer that goes out of alignment, it eats you up inside. Okay? The word that you don't normally use, and so I can make it burn into your memory more specifically, is congruent. That everything aligns. It fits, right? Your daily goals, your weekly goals, the number of weeks you have left, and what you've been able to do so far are so far out of alignment that it's hard for your mind to focus. There's not an absolute. You've lost the ability to hold your feet to the fire and say, no, this is what has to be done. There is no way I am letting up for a second until I at least get here. You guys have lost that strength inside yourself to hold yourself to a goal because you don't know which goal you're following. Because they don't all agree. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right? There's what I really need to do to pay for school or to feed my family. And then there's what I would like to sell. And there's that number that I came up with because I made up a big number to impress people. There's all these, they need to be the same, right? And they need to be written down. Why do they have to be written down? So you can't keep changing it, right? It needs to be absolute, and it needs to have a whole lot more reality in it than these numbers do. I want you to do this exercise today with your real number. The one that if you didn't hit, you would... I'm afraid that everybody's going to think that I'm recommending that you do this. I'm not recommending that you do this, but I want the goal that if you had to quit next semester and not go to school to make sure you damn well hit it, I want that number. The one you won't go home. The one you explain to your wife that, no, I'm leaving for another 3 weeks. I'm the one that you would drive back from school on the weekends to sell another 3 accounts for 4 more weekends because I have to hit that number, right? We've got an office in Boise. You two are going to Boise. You live in Tri-Cities. We can sell in Tri-Cities, right? The number that you would say, I will sell nights and weekends until I hit that number if for some reason I didn't. And I don't want to have to do that. And so I have to do it now. Like there is not an option to not do this, right? I want that number. What is that number? We getting that? Mm-hmm. Let me give you some time to think on that one because you need to. You probably don't know that number yet, so come up with it for a second while I erase the fake numbers. Again, I'm doing this with these numbers so people can see 1.25 times 72. This plus this.
178.
If there was absolutely no change. Now, can there be a change? Yeah, that's the reason we're doing this, right? This is let's get going. 16 days.
Yeah.
That's tough, right? I think I know this number, but now you get to choose your number of days left.
Mm-hmm. Well, my wife does, but I mean, yeah. Do you want my number right now?
Yep.
250. It's a 2.2 day average from here on out.
Okay, that's exactly what I was gonna do. It's 14 a week without cancels. 16 or 17 with them. Okay, so do that. Find your daily average. Ask yourself in your heart, is this still bullshit? Does it need to be a different number? Right? You've got a couple of mechanisms. You can increase the number of days that you can sell, and you can sell more per day. That's all it works. Right? Some of you do have options to choose that. Some of you don't have as many options to choose that, right? Some of you can sell while you're going to school. Some of you are choosing not to go to school. Some of you, it's It's still an open decision when you really stop selling. Jared, you're probably one of the ones that's the most stuck, right? And so your number needs to be real, right? What's the number that if you didn't hit it? See, 9 to 9 doesn't work when it's forced. It works when you're doing it, when you're hungry, because you know exactly what that number is to be congruent to yourself, to do what you need to do for your own self, for your own needs, and you know that you are a hair behind. Then you want to ask on your own, hey, I get that I need to be in the meeting because I need to pump up the mental motivation as much as anybody, but I just want to find an extra 2 hours somewhere. Is there any way I could get a little slice of area right here next to the house, so that if I choose to, if I have any day that I only sell 2 because I have to sell 2.2 a day, that means that if I only sell 0, 1, or 2 yesterday, I better go knock an extra 2 hours in the morning. I'm up at 7, dressed, ready, showered, and on the doors at 9 a.m. on my own so that I can put in 2 hours, get a deal, and be back here at 11 to eat lunch, be ready for the meeting, because that's the only way I know how to get it to work, right? When you choose that, I'm not saying that everybody needs to do that. I'm saying when choices like that start coming from inside, then you're congruent. Do you see what I'm saying? If you tell yourself that the absolute number, no matter what, is 2.2 a day, and you sell 2 and you're okay with it, that's horseshit. It's not enough. If the number's 2.2, 2 is not enough. Cancels happen. 2 in a day is really like 1.5. You are behind, right? Okay, here's the next thing. As far as where to focus, if you're going to put some kind of incentive inside your own mind of I get to do this, I don't get to do this, I am going to eat oatmeal for breakfast because it's friggin' cheap and it'll keep me alive, but I don't really like it. I'm going to eat oatmeal for breakfast for the entire next semester if I don't sell X. Cool, that didn't cost you any money. It actually probably saved you $100, right? But hopefully it will motivate you. And maybe you eat oatmeal like plain oatmeal for breakfast the next morning just to remind yourself that if I don't hit my goal, I'm going to do this for 6 months. And I don't want to do that. I like my crappy Cheerios. My cancer-causing stuff. Whatever it is, right? You can be creative. It does not have to be, I'm going to buy myself this $1,000 thing. Okay. Next thing, I had a little bit of talk about this with Cole and Josh yesterday. If we turn all of our 5 days into 6 days because we're just on fire, so I'm going to push a little harder. How many extra sales do I have? 2. It doesn't matter that much. If I turn all of my 1 days into 2 days, what happens? I hit my end of your goal. That one matters. Changing 0 days into 1 days, because most of you probably have quite a few of these. Yeah? Do I have some hands here? Okay. This is not the first time I've done this with Jordan, so he's been able to mentally close this door quite a bit, right? Daniel didn't have any, right? Daniel calls me freaking out when he sells 3, right? Because that's where his mental model has shifted, but he knows that by focusing here will make a whole lot more numeric difference than having a couple more of these. It will, right? The other thing is that these aren't usually forced, right? The way 4 and 5 and 6 days happen is because a little bit of just like luck that you had a good afternoon. And so you're in a good mode because you already have 2 or 3 deals. And it's like, all right, I'm feeling good. It's only 5. Like, yeah, this is good. It's cooling off. There's a cloud. I'm good, right? So there is a little bit that you need to do to build in some protection against your own mind slowing down. Everybody has a slow down mode, right? For some people, it's like, man, I get 3, I'm feeling good, I kind of relax, I don't push people as much, whatever. Jordan, I know we've talked about, for him it's 4, right? It's hard to push into that 5th and 6th deal because it feels like, hey, I've got time to help somebody else or fix something at home or whatever. So you do need a little bit of building something in of I will do this or I won't do this if I have a good day. But I would tell you that numerically, the thing that matters most is forcing yourself to eat oatmeal every time you only have a 0 or 1 day. Or not drink a soda. Or instead of watching Netflix for an hour at night, you say, I have to watch training material for an hour at night if I don't sell at least 2 in a day, right? Little things like that that are immediate, right? That keep you focused, but you've got to have yourself aligned all to whatever this number really is and keep yourself honest with it, right? So what the exercise is today, again, to prove that there is not a lot of money that this takes. Well, I need to speak globally before we go to that. Okay, so this idea of being aligned and congruent, a man that does what he says he's going to do, that matters everywhere. It is not just a crazy frog thing. It is not just a sales thing. It is something your mom will be proud of. It is something your girlfriend's mom would be proud of, right? Or your wife. Right? That's the kind of thing grandpa wants to see from the grave. Or great grandpa. Right? This is about being a stronger person. And it is part, not all, but it is part of where real inner confidence springs from. Right? You met Victor at Mass Mutual.
Oh yeah, Victor's my friend.
So that's the bigwig at the financial company that I have a practice that I've built at. And he hates that he can't get me to work anytime I don't want to, because I'm busy doing this sometimes and other things. But so I am always dodgy when he wants to know about a goal or what I want to do, and I'll never tell him it. And then, was it last year? 2 years ago, I came to him in like April 1st, and I said, I set a goal, I'm doing X before the end of the year. And he's like, whoa, like you've always told me like, you'll do as much business as you feel like, and you won't do it when you don't do it. Like, what is this? I said, I just don't ever want to commit to something that I'm not actually going to commit to, but I'm going to do this by the end of the year. And he was like, all right. And I'm sure in his mind, it was like, yeah, right. I got people that always tell me goals just like these. They don't happen. And immediately, we started performing. Let's just say that, my team. And we hit that goal in 6 months. And he called me one time in October, and he's like, Merrill, so what's the deal with like I was wanting to call you into the office and talk to you about like upping your goal because like you hit it, and but you haven't done anything in like 2 months. And I said, yeah, I hit my goal. It's done. He's like, so what, are we going to do more? I was like, nope. That was the goal. It's done. And I think he was a little upset at first. But I talked to him this year, and he said, I've thought about what happened last year a lot. He said, I don't know. I've never had somebody do that. Just say they were going to do something, do it, not do less, not do more, just do it. I'm like, yeah. I am not saying this as a look at me. I'm saying that it is recognized and respected outside of this room. It is something that you want to be part of your brand, who you are. It's something you want your kids to say about you. It's something you want the women in your life to notice. It's something that you, if you are going to ever have a business partner, you better be looking for this trait in that partner before you decide to get into a business marriage, right? This is a quality thing that tells something about a person. Start being it today. Not doing it. There's a difference. It is great to do something. It is more powerful to become it, right? You need to become this. Okay, that is my life application piece of it. So to prove that it does not take a lot of money to get yourself focused, For all of us, I have bought materials for $11.23, right? And we want to come up with specific things. I need it visual. I need it trackable. I need something to be marked off, colored in, crossed off every single day. We got markers. We've got poster board, pins to put on the wall, scissors if you want to cut it. Only bought one ruler. It's not big enough. There's a piece of PVC pipe if we want to draw a straight line. Let's do it. I have ideas. If you guys don't, go.
Arts and crafts, baby.